Hey everyone, we just got back from our vacation and I am now going to show you guys our overseeding results with Blackout turf type tall fescue. It's been 14 days since seed down and here are some before and afters. Now I'm actually very happy with the results of this. I was a little nervous because we had some big storms roll through and I did not put down any cover on this. Scarified it, raked it in, rolled it in, and I called it a day. So absolutely zero cover. For the most part, coverage is extremely good with this. I'll give you some close-ups here in a second. There are a couple spots that came in a little thin. I probably should have put cover on these spots because it was completely bare. Like this is one. I think the storms just really washed out a lot of the seed in this area. We have some good coverage in here. So you can see it's kind of, we have some bare spots. So I'll have to put down some more seed in this area probably. Same thing over here. You can see exactly where it got washed out. Like all the seed got washed out from here, but it grew in good right here. So if you have big bare areas, you should probably put down some peat moss to cover these areas, just so they don't wash away if storms do come. Man, I have moles coming in here again. Freaking A. They just never stop. Yeah, more mole tunnels. This spot was pretty bare, but there's a lot of germination in here. The thing is, it looks thin right now, but one little plant is gonna grow thick. It's not gonna spread like Kentucky bluegrass, but each little one of these, once they start tillering, that means multiple leaves start coming off the blades and they start maturing. These things are gonna thicken up and this is guaranteed. I know this is all gonna get covered very, very well. You just gotta give it some time. Also, I know Blackout is known for being super dark. You're still gonna have to wait a month or two for this stuff to mature to get that color to really come in. It's not gonna be instantly dark. So the young grass, no matter what, is going to look a little bit lighter than you probably want it to be. But trust me, this stuff will mature and get very dark. You just have to give it some time. But overall, I am extremely happy with how this stuff has germinated and came in. I mean, I have coverage everywhere. You can see that this stuff is very thick in spots. Yeah, like even in here, man, I can see all the germination, even in the spots that were already very dense. Yeah, but we're looking at, I mean, 1.5 inches, 2 inches of growth already in 2 weeks. So it germinated very well, other than those spots that got washed out a little bit. So great germination for 2 weeks after seed down. Turf type tall fescue kind of reminds me of Kentucky bluegrass. It takes a while to germinate and it takes a while to really establish. So this isn't going to be like perennial ryegrass where in a week you're going to have a full lawn, or like 2 weeks everything as thick as can be. It's going to take a while for this stuff to establish, kind of like Kentucky bluegrass. I would say after a month is when you're going to get that tillering and everything's going to thicken up and start to mature a little bit. We'll get rid of these stupid weeds. Quinclorac was killing this stuff. I don't even know what it is. It's some type of grassy weed. It's not quack grass, because I have quack grass all over the place everywhere else. It's not nutsedge, is what it kind of looks like, but it's some kind of grassy weed. The quinclorac was killing most of this stuff, but then a lot of it came back as well just because it got washed off during a rainstorm. So I'm gonna have to hit it with some quinclorac once the seed matures and I'm able to put it down. But what we're gonna do today is we're gonna do the first mow on this new overseed, and then we will put down some fertilizer to get this stuff really starting to grow in a little bit and give it some food. One of the main questions I get from people is, when do I start mowing my newly seeded lawn? And what I tell people is start mowing as soon as it hits the height of cut that you want to start cutting it. I mean, start maintaining it where you want it to be maintained. So if you want to keep your lawn at 2 inches, start cutting it at 2 inches. If you want to keep it at 3 inches, start cutting it at 3 inches. Wherever you want to maintain your grass is where I would say start cutting it. Back here is going to be around 2 inches, maybe lower. So I'm going to give it a cut right now. Hope it starts tillering, thickening up, and then we'll put down that fertilizer and go from there. So this is the first mow. I'm going to try using a manual reel mower back here. The grass might be a little too thick. We'll see how it goes. If I struggle getting through it, I'll bring back the Massport and then we'll use that. But I'm gonna try the manual reel first, just because it has a very clean cut and it's not as heavy and it's not gonna damage the grass. Yeah, this is cutting off too much. We're gonna have to raise the height of cut on this. This is too low. This is probably set at like 3/4 of an inch. I wanted to try it first. It's definitely not gonna work. I mean, look at this. What was I thinking? That's a little too low. If you guys are looking for a good reel mower, manual reel mower, this Great States one is awesome. I've had no issues with it. It's very easy to adjust the height of cut. I don't know, I like this thing a lot. It didn't cost that much. The other thing I didn't realize I had a major issue with back here are ants. These ant mounds are everywhere. And they're huge. They're not making just these little tiny mounds. And they're coming up and really making these giant mounds. So I'm gonna have to look into when I can put down an insecticide for these ants on new grass. So that'll be another thing I have to do back here because these things are kind of out of control and I didn't realize it. It is amazing what a double mow can do. This looks like a brand new backyard almost. Look at this. Insane. So much better. Areas like this, around the step is gonna happen. The dog's gonna pee there. This is all gonna die off. It is what it is. Over here, I have a quackgrass infestation because basically this is where my grass was super thin before this. So the quackgrass just kind of took over in this area. Like it looks really thin right here, but if you get close, there's plenty of seedlings. This is gonna grow in nice and thick, I think. Over here, we have like no quackgrass. It's because the grass is so thick. So I think once we start thickening this up, the quackgrass will slowly start to get choked out. It will never go away, but you just won't notice it as much. But overall, man, what a night and day difference. Man, this camera drives me nuts sometimes. Now, for all these anthill spots that are just ridiculously crazy, I don't get it. They were not this bad. I'm just gonna grab the hose, spray those areas, wash away all the dirt so I don't damage the grass, and hopefully it just kind of washes in. They're gonna come back. I have to do some research tonight and see if I can put down anything to kill these ants with baby grass because this is crazy. They're everywhere. They're smothering grass. All those little spots are gonna die. I'll probably start using the robot mower once I think these little seedlings can handle something riding on it and the robot mower turning around and not rip out the seedlings. So I feel like we got a couple weeks still. I'm definitely not gonna push mow back here. multiple times a week, plus take care of the front. It's just, my schedule is way too crazy for that. So hopefully sooner than later, I can get the robot mower going back here, and then it's maintaining itself. And we can have something back here we can be proud of instead of what we were dealing with before. Now you guys, I put down, I think 40 pounds on an overseed on 4,000 square feet. Go heavy with this stuff, because if you have existing grass, some of it's not gonna make it through. So you want to go heavy. I always do like a new lawn rate, even though I'm overseeding. Because one, this is turf type tall fescue. If you give those blades of grass room to grow thicker, they will grow thick no matter how much they were bred to be thinner blade. That's one thing, so you want it not to have that much room to grow out. And number two, like I said, if you are overseeding into kind of dense existing grass, some of that seed's not gonna make it to the soil. So do a heavier rate. Your overseed's gonna be way more successful if you do. Another thing is you might not get the color response that you're going to want by doing an overseed. This might be a year after year process of overseeding with this Blackout to get that really deep, rich color, because you gotta think, I mean, maybe 25 to 40% of the grass that you're putting in is gonna be that dark. The other 50 to 60, 70% of the grass is going to be that lighter color that you didn't like before overseeding with Blackout. So just keep that in mind. This might be a year over year process if you're just overseeding. Now, if you're doing a new renovation, you should get that color within a few months. I would say 2 to 3 months, you're gonna start seeing the results of that color. It may take a year for it to really get that deep, deep, dark green that you're looking for. It's definitely gonna happen if you're renovating. Like I said, overseeding is gonna take some time. So when it comes to starter fertilizer, almost every single person puts it down as they're seeding or right after they seed to get that phosphorus down in the soil to help those seedlings grow. Now, I usually always avoid doing this because I don't like giving my grass nitrogen right before I seed, because I don't want that existing grass to outcompete those small seedlings, if that makes sense. So I normally never put down starter fertilizer right away when I seed. Now on this project, I did just that. I did not put down any starter fertilizer. We obviously got great germination. Looking back, I should have put this down as I was seeding. This is another Earthworks product. This is called Replenish 333. It's a starter fertilizer. Now the difference between this fertilizer and other starter fertilizers is this has mycorrhiza in it, which is a fungi that helps plants uptake water and nutrients a lot better, especially phosphorus. That's what it's known for, is helping plants uptake phosphorus, which everyone knows that is what we need our seedlings to get to help them grow and establish their root system. So this has a ton of mycorrhiza in it. Most starter fertilizers don't have any of that in it. Now the main reason I should have put this down right when I started seeding instead of waiting until now is because this is only a 333. There is not that much nitrogen in the starter fert. So it wasn't gonna do as much as normal starter fertilizers would have if you hit it with that nitrogen and having your existing grass really grow out. So this will give it minimal growth. It still has phosphorus in it, and it has a ton of that mycorrhiza in it to help those nutrients absorb into that those baby seedlings' root systems. So I'm actually gonna put this down now. This bag covers 5,000 square feet. I'm just gonna put it evenly across my 4,000 square feet back here and call it good. This stuff is made from poultry manure also, so it stinks like an MFer. So just keep that in mind. I have not tried this product yet, so we are gonna see what the results are together on it. So I'll put this whole bag back here, and it does need to be watered in, so I'll water it in after. And I'll give it a week or two, and I'll show you the results of what this stuff did. I almost wanna make a control area. I should put down a big box somewhere. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put down a big box somewhere in the lawn so one area does not get this mycorrhiza, and see if we can see a difference in where we put it down and where we didn't. Obviously this has a little bit of nitrogen in it, so there should be somewhat of a color difference for sure, but we will see. We'll try to compare the seedlings next to each other as well. So I'll get a big box to put down as we're covering this. Well, it definitely comes from chicken manure because there's a little chicken feather in here. So here's our little test plot. It's this big board. What's kind of cool about this is you can see exactly how much was going down in that area, and there's a lot more that goes down than I thought. So I'll carefully lift this off. That's about where the square is. We'll see if we can see any kind of difference. Should be a fun little test. But overall, guys, I am extremely happy with this overseed so far. Like I said, this Surf type tall fescue is known for its color. Let's give it a couple months and see where we're at. After putting down this fertilizer app, I'll probably start hitting it with nitrogen about, I don't know, 1/4 to a 1/2 pound every 2 weeks or so. And yeah, this thing should be banging by the end of the year. But yeah, I'm extremely happy. If you guys want to buy this same grass seed, just visit thelawnlife.com. I'll leave a link in the description. I'll leave a link for the fertilizer also, and you can get those there. Otherwise, I appreciate you guys watching. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next time.